Welcome al podcast de Palante Nonprofits. I'm your host, Andrea Ortega, y estoy super excited to dive into the world of nonprofits.
Awesome. Bueno, bienvenidos a todos. We're here with the Palante Nonprofits podcast. I am your host, Dr. Andrea Ortega, and today we are joined by Stephanie Luzoro, a dedicated member of the Junior League of Greater Orlando, JLGO, has been a driving force for change in Central Florida for decades, empowering women as civic leaders, creating lasting impact through volunteer-driven projects. And Stephanie brings her own professional expertise in education and leadership. I had no idea, by the way, that you are in instructional design. We have to talk more a little bit about that. She also has a deep passion for building stronger, more connected communities. JLGO does that. I've had the pleasure to work as JLGO as a client. I got to work with you guys on an impact workshop with the fundraising committee. And I had a really, really great time working with them. For those who are listening and kind of going off script here, the impact workshop was about 3 hours. And one of the many things that you'll learn about the Junior League of Greater Orlando is that they partner with other nonprofits locally. And I remember working through some of the things around, one of the biggest pinpoints was like, well, we get asked all the time, why not donate directly to the nonprofits? And I remember being like, yeah, so own it, yeah, you should donate to us and to them, and JLGO is a nonprofit too, right? And then the way we kind of work through it, through phrasing it around the messaging is, yeah, you should donate to, the organization we're partnering for this project, but you should also donate to us because we amplify the human capital. And I think it really resonated with a lot of your members because they provide, long story short, they do a lot of events where they provide volunteers and the helping with the planning and stuff. And that's human capital. And that's even more valuable than sometimes a monetary donation because a lot of these small nonprofits are stretched thin. And I had a lot of fun in the impact workshop and love having you here, Stephanie. Gracias por, being here. I see you're dying to say something, so let's go for it.
No, you like hit the nail on the head on so many things, especially that human impact, right? So much, like, yes, you can give your dollar, but there's something about putting in the hours that makes a huge difference as well. And that's something that we'll talk about later, but yeah, Junior League definitely puts in that manpower. So you hit it. You got it.
Yeah. And how long have you been with Junior League?
So I've been with Junior League for 3 years now. I didn't get started with it until I knew that I had the time. I've been always a huge volunteer advocate. I used to be a high school teacher, and I was the sponsor for the National Honor Society, and starting basically at that high school level, getting those kids volunteers, showing them that manpower versus dollar does make sometimes a bigger difference in the community, especially here in Central Florida that really needs that help sometimes. Just literally moving boxes makes a huge difference for someone. And so starting there, when I got out of the classroom and started going through my instructional design, I'm a curriculum developer, and I was like, I'm missing this. That's such a big part of me. I volunteered my whole life. It's part of my identity. And I knew about Junior League, and I was like, let me finally give it the time that it deserves. And it's been amazing since. So it's been great.
I love it. And what's your role there now? I know you guys are designing committees and things like that. What do you do for them?
So I am the vice president of member resources.
Oh,
Basically, yeah. So I really work with our members, going as far as in the beginning as a prospect, meaning someone that's just applying, all the way through our sustainers, which means that those ladies have been with our organization for 10 plus years. Basically making sure that they have everything that they need in their journey throughout Junior League. And like you mentioned, there's committees. So we have different vice presidents, and there's and we call those councils. And then under every council, there's committees. So under my specific committee, I have the member status, and then we have recruitment and member experience. So that's my council.
And I know that you guys just started a new year, so I think you guys were busy recruiting and getting more members in. Oh, I love that.
So our league year does start in August. So August through June.
I love that. Well, let's get started with our question. So
absolutely,
I love uplifting nonprofits, and like I said, Junior League is a client of mine, and I get to work with you guys on all the amazing things you do. And so for those listeners who are not familiar, what does the JLGO do, and how does this organization make tangible difference in our community?
So, as you mentioned, we are a nonprofit. Basically, our focus is on developing the potential of women as civic leaders. So, our mission is to create meaningful, lasting changes in our community. So, like right now, one of our biggest focuses is on eradicating poverty and food insecurity. And then what we do is we train women through like formal leadership development opportunities, like supporting local organizations through volunteerism and funding, advocating at all levels of government. So we have different councils, like I mentioned, that do different things in that facet. So, for example, one of the things we've done is we've increased the number of hands on volunteer opportunities and leadership trainings this year to expand our network of community partners and really deepen our impact.
I love that. And I think this episode is really special because it's usually I'm talking to a lot of nonprofit leaders, mostly who identify as Latino, Latinas, but also like JLGO has a really special, I think, model in that you partner with other nonprofits and, like I said earlier, help support that human capital. Let's do it. So, what, in your own words, makes Junior League unique in the way it empowers women and supports
Okay.
local causes?
What I think sets Junior League apart from others is the fact that we have a dual focus. Not only do we want to serve the community, but we're also doing it as we develop our women. So we empower our members to identify community needs, we design solutions, and take action. So we don't force a specific facet of the community to our members. We allow them to explore the things that are meaningful to them. So just rather than participating in projects, we also train our members to lead them. One of the things that we do is called DIAD, which is done in a day. It's a one-day volunteer event. And we welcome to work with all types of community. We have worked with the Westminster community, which is like the elderly. We worked with Give Kids the World. We've worked with Clean the World. We've even done something that's important to me, like self-defense seminars. So we want to make sure that these women are also growing in the parts of that they want to grow in. We're not just going to force one thing on them or another. Like we want them to have some ownership in the things that they do. So I think that by doing that, that means women leave Junior League not just with volunteer hours, but like with the confidence, skills, and experience to create change anywhere, right? Either in their careers, their families, or in other communities if they decide to move or become part of a different organization and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, that's great. I do love that dual model. I think that's something that makes you unique. And to anybody listening, definitely an organization you want to partner and collaborate with because of that human capital again, and being able to find volunteers with so many different interests, to your point. Like you don't put them in this bucket. It's what are the needs of the community and how can we support is really special. All right. Can you tell us about a specific standout initiative that Junior League has led, specifically with any families or neighborhoods in Orlando?
Yeah, so there's two that I find really meaningful that we do as an organization. As I mentioned, our mission has been it's been basically surrounding food insecurity. So, one of the big organizations that we work with is One Heart and with Second Harvest Food Bank. And we recently, during the summer, even though that's not technically our league time, we were just helping. One Heart just had in July their Feed-a-Palooza event, and we had volunteers work with them. And then one of our biggest community partners is Second Harvest Food Bank, and we do a lot with them, helping out, doing meals, organization, everything. And actually, we here at the end of July, Junior League just got recently honored at their volunteer appreciation event. So that was really meaningful. And then a second, I guess, initiative that we really do that's I think is really meaningful, especially because I was a high school teacher, is our MAGIC program. And basically that what MAGIC stands for is mentoring adolescent girls to inspire change. And what JLGO does is that it pairs our members with these young survivors of sex trafficking that are currently living in a residential program. And it's run by Images of Glory. And our volunteers mentor these girls on topics like women's health, financial literacy, mental health, career exploration. So it's deeply personal and powerful. And I think that it not only uplifts the participants, but also our volunteers, because you're putting yourself in a situation of vulnerability and empathy. And I think that's really great. And I think that's going to be meaningful work for those girls to have, someone to lean on and be like, what can I do after this?
That's beautiful. I didn't even know that. I'm familiar with your Men in the Kitchen and some of the other Give Kids the World. I think very often work with nonprofits and I'm like, you have to focus on one thing, you have to focus on one thing. But like, because your focus is very specific to uplifting women in the community, like you're able to do so many different things. And that's so
Yeah.
exciting. And like, you know, if any nonprofits are listening, Junior League exists not just in Orlando, Central Florida. And so being able to find your most nearest junior league, make that contact and share your needs, I think would be, if I get one person who says that listening, that would be phenomenal because again, these are women who are volunteering their time, are also getting, you know, knowledge, but then at the same time making community impact. It's like it's a beautiful like circle of giving, you know?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so on to the next question. How do these
Yeah.
partnerships strengthen your efforts to create lasting change? And how do they work? How do I, if I'm a nonprofit leader, how do I get involved with you guys? And
Yeah.
how have you seen that strengthen what happens in the community?
So a little plug. If you would love to get involved with us, you can just email community@jlgo.org, and that will get you in contact with our community action team. So that's the council and committee that really takes in those requests and does that research. But our community partners are the heart of how we operate, to be honest. They not only increase our reach and our impact, but also enrich our members' experiences, as I mentioned. Just in this past league year, the 24-25 league year, our community council organized like 90 volunteer events in the span of like 9 months. And that resulted in over 2,000 hours of volunteer work. So again, like we talked about that manpower, like think about dollar to hour. Like if you would had to hire someone, like how much money is that nonprofit now saving by using that manpower? And that's just our community impact, like that's not including all the other little things that we do in the organization. We fundraise, we do donate. Just our manpower was over 2,000 hours. So that's great. And then, so like we said, we try to work with organizations that feel like that they need those volunteers. They're already stretched thin as it is. So whether it's like sorting donations or mentoring, like we do with Magic, or assisting at events, like we've like hosted events at like OMA, like just helping seating people, especially with Give the Kids the World. We've helped like doing all the like the dining portion of it, like handing out food. So really making a difference for our partners and where they need us, but also fostering strong civic awareness and like connection among our members to our community.
I love that. That was great. I think it's really interesting again that you all have that opportunity to do so many different things and so committees, and you're large too. I think you know, there's hundreds of members involved, and then I don't even think we've touched on your legacy members, women who have been around for decades and continue to support. They might not be active members, you know, in your roster, but they continue to support your events. I met a couple of them at the Men in the Kitchen event, which I had the pleasure to attend. And then again, you know, just to anyone listening, like check out if there's a local chapter, especially if you're in Orlando. These are super committed professional women, but also like in the trade and the skills, like very different, I think, backgrounds, both professionally and personal. And I think, you know, I was very quick. I was like, hey, who on your team, you know, identifies Latina? And they're like, oh my God, Stephanie would be great. And it's, you know, I just like to kind of share our voices of the spaces we're
Yeah.
in. That's one of the things that I like to do. Like, and it's a very diverse group of women too, right?
Yes.
I think traditionally, if you go back into the website, because I helped you guys a little bit, it was a lot of white women in very specific suburbs, and I think as I read your history, I saw the dynamic change and getting to a point where you guys are so diverse now and representing a lot of the community needs was really special.
Absolutely. I mean, we have Angela White Jones, who is our president. She's our first African American president, and it's just
Yeah,
a huge diverse community. I see it in the numbers. I see what you're saying. Like, yeah,
yeah.
historically it was, but it's been amazing to see it grow as well.
Mm-hmm.
Being at events, and like I'm from Miami, so like when we exchange numbers and your area code, it's just like,
Yeah,
you're from
yeah,
Miami? Like, oh, okay, me too.
yeah,
Like, where are you from? So it's really nice to see that it's expanding. We're changing it. It's amazing. I love it because
yeah.
I love that I can say that I'm part of an organization that recognizes that, we are part of our community, and we want to represent that with our members, showing that
Yes.
our members are a part of the community. So it's great. Yeah.
Yes, Dr. Y. Jones was my dissertation chair. So
Nice.
she's the one who introduced me to Junior League. And to your point, before we get to our last question, to your point, I don't have the commitment time too, but like if anybody's listening and is kind of getting ready, I have this rule where I serve on 2 nonprofits at a time or give my
Mm-hmm.
time. Right now the spots are booked because I get a lot of
Yeah, no,
requests,
I get it. Yeah.
but like to your point, like if anybody's been itching to give back and doing it, like I think Junior League is a great organization to join. And you know, if not, like even if not as a full member, like participate and attend your events.
Yeah.
They're a lot of fun. They're really designed, I think, also to like be very positive. And I think that's really important. And so, in our last question is, as Junior League, especially, you know, of Greater Orlando looks to the future, what are some of those big goals and emerging areas that you guys are looking to tackle right now?
Absolutely. So one little thing is you're never too old to join Junior League. I joined in my late 30s, so you know you can always join when it's ready for you. So I do want to mention that. But yeah, looking into the future, some big goals that we have is this year for the league year as it started here in August is we are focusing on poverty and food insecurity. But we know those issues are complex and ever evolving, right? So we're expanding both our leadership trainings and our relationship with the aligned community organizations and seeing where else can we help. But looking ahead, there are 2 groups within Junior League, like we've mentioned before, committees and councils. And we have the Advocacy and Initiatives Council, where they are helping our members use their voices to change through strategic advocacy. And then we have a committee called Issue-Based Community Impact, IBCI. And that committee is basically currently surveying our members, our community partners, and our community leaders to assess where can Junior League do the most good. So we welcome involvement from anyone who shares our passion, whether that's becoming a member, partnering with us, or just supporting our initiatives. We have like a week-long fundraising event in the spring that we always like try to host little events and have people come and see what we do and what we're about and see what partners we work with and how we do those things.
I love that. And so to finish off, Stephanie, I'm going to take you a little off script, but is there any
Yeah, great.
particular moment in your volunteering time or time here that you could share with us that impacted you?
Yeah, absolutely. One that's personal to me was like working with Harbor House, just because, as I mentioned, I was a high school teacher and like I had students that Harbor House was also our project when I was a sponsor. So seeing like those old faces and seeing how like not only the impact I was having in my previous career, but the impact I'm having now is still there and how the need is still there. And it was beautiful to see like the 2 different sides of that role, where I came with working with students at Harbor House and now working with women and children. And it's just beautiful to see that part of it because it's such a hard
Yeah.
topic to discuss. But knowing that they know they have the support from other women, that we're listening ear if they needed it, or just to know that like we are standing by them, whether they say their story or not, is I think huge for me. For me, Harbor
Yeah.
House is a good one. And I think that's why I care so much about our magic program as well. Because again, right, like we
Yeah.
care about our future. So taking care of those around us and those communities that really sometimes get forgotten about. So
Yeah,
yeah,
of course, and who've experienced, you know, things that we can never imagine. I love that.
exactly.
How can we find Junior League? I know there's a national and then as well as
Yes.
chapters. Tell us a little bit more and if people can donate as well on there.
Yeah, so you can find us on all social media platforms. So if you look up JLGO Orlando, like Orlando or JL Orlando, our website is orlando.jl.org. And through there, you can get to our fundraising page and you can also become one of our sponsors. We have different facets of being a sponsor to kind of help us with our initiatives. Like you mentioned, Men in the Kitchen is one of our biggest fundraising events. And so that's a great way to help us help others.
Yes, awesome. I love it. Essentially, I think all the women volunteered their husbands and made these events
Yes.
about where they have to cook, and now they go all out. It was amazing.
Oh,
First
it's
of
an
all,
amazing event.
it was like
Amazing.
Michelin star, but like then like when we would ask her like, oh yeah, my wife is a Junior League member, so like I'm here volunteered to fundraise and cook all day for free and then serve, and then they had like matching outfits. It was the cutest
Yes.
thing.
Yeah, and it's a little competition for the men, which, is awesome too. So You go
Yes.
around and it's all, volunteer based. Some are voluntold, as you mentioned, but it's a huge impact. It's a huge fundraising event that we have, and it's great. It's very social, and
Mm-hmm.
it's a great way for others to like have some fun,
Yeah.
some competition.
Yeah, for sure. And definitely learn to all our listeners, learn more about what the Junior League does across, the nation at your local level. Because if you're a
Yes.
nonprofit and you're needing support, I think that's where there's a lot of room for collaboration. And, if there's a tip, I don't know if you, I don't think I've even told you all, but like if you do partner with Junior League, those are great things to write in your grant application because funders
Yeah.
love to see collaboration. And so you're able to say, like, and we have the support, human capital, right? So you provided the funding, we have human capital support of our local junior league, and this is more about them. And so just wanted to throw a little snippet there. But thank you so much, Stephanie. And
Thank you.
gracias a todos for if you're listening, please subscribe to our podcast channel, and I hope to talk to you guys again soon.
Thank you. Gracias. Ciao.